Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, so if you saw my last video you'll know what this is all about. This is basically part of the planning stage. Because I need to work out how big things need to be. So, we decided this is going to be the body. Should we zoom in a little bit? So, now I'm not trying to keep this exactly the same because the length of Dragonfly bodies changes. This is more like a broad bodied chaser. You could get something like an Emperor, which has got a much longer tail, so that this doesn't matter so much, but I want to try and get the proportions about right, you know, wing length to body length. So if we're suggesting that this bit is the tail, so this part here, the body part will be around here somewhere. And we're planning to use these, so yeah, that takes us up to about there, and then we've got enough to build the head on here. So I think the total length will be about the same as what this is now. So if we take the measurement of the length of this, I'm going to round up here, 105. So I guess it's 16. Yeah, 16. So 160 divided by 105 equals 1.52. So basically, it's pretty obvious how you look at it, but yeah, it's basically the wings have got to be 1.5 times, from tip to tip, 1.5 times the length. So, if this is 29 centimetres, times 1.5 makes basically 45 centimetres, doesn't it? Which makes the wing span, oh that's pretty cool, makes the wingspan out of shot. No, it's about right. It looks too long, but I think it's because we haven't got the width as well, or the bulk of the head and the body. And this will be, might be a stubby-tailed Dragonfly. So 45 centimetres across the two, half of 45 is 22.5. So each wing wants to be 22.5, but we do need a little bit of separation in the middle, so let's call it 22, which gives us a separation. So we need, each wing needs to be 22 centimetres long. For the front ones, and it seems like the back ones should be mildly shorter, so should we call those 19 centimetres? Or is that too short? That's 3. No, that's quite a lot off. Well, that's quite a bit of difference. Let's call it 20 centimetres. That's long again. Okay. So if they're 22 long, and it takes 22 back, that's 44. Add an extra, what, 50% for the curve, so 60. Right, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 1 metre lengths. I'll have extra, but it's rod, it's fine, I can cut it off. But it will give me extra to, you know, make the length, get the curve in, and get the return to get it back to a point, because obviously I'm going to have to weld those two together and probably have a plate of some sort down there. Now here's a thought, I could use the step drill to put a hole in this before I cut it, so it's already got the start of the body cavity. And if I drill straight through, I can get it the same on both sides. And that would give me a good start to getting it fitted. I guess I'm going to want the step drill to end just against that edge there. So, I mean, that's going to help determine the size of the body anyway. If it needs to be slightly wider, I can always do something. This is basically the rod, the mild steel rod I've got. Mine's all in 2.5 metre lengths and a long sheave I've got to chop out from it, but that is what's going to be making the wings. Yeah, they're not going to be too heavy. They're going to be they'll be visible, but they're not going to be too heavy. And actually, maybe the copper wire thing wouldn't take nearly as long, because I think for some reason was envisaging a wing like this long, but actually that's more like both of them. If I make something bigger in the future, that'd be cool if the wings were like, you know, this long. I'm going to make the legs out of this as well. I might make the first sections out of bolts maybe, and then use these for the last bits, and then of course have to put little barbs on, which means I'm probably going to have to either weld little lumps on, or maybe cut little sections out and weld those on, but maybe little lumps would work. But yeah, as you can see, it's there in my brain, kind of, loosely, and that's the way you've got to plan it. You can't plan too close to these. And then, as we've got the basic shape, we can start adding to it and adding details, and I'm sure there's going to be different things that are going to just make it that I wouldn't have thought of before. So, step one, I guess, is prepping the body bits. So I'm going to drill these out in the press, get the step drill and get those holed out, chop those off, and then we can see about how that matches up. Putting loads of oil on this, and then I'm sure I'm going to be told that you shouldn't use 3-in-1 oil to do it and everything. I could use a cutting disc and I might still, but I'd like to do it straight. I think I'm probably better off using this. We missed the point the whole way along. Got one half. Let's do that again. Just bring up to speed. I've slightly beveled these edges on the sander. Cleaned up the inside faces because things aren't quite in line, but I've got quite a nice shape that it sort of curves in this way and that way. So I'm going to just weld this into one. Then I need to cut out a 37mm hole in this side and a 29mm hole on this side to make it fit onto the shaft properly. So that will go there. I'm going to use this ball-ended die grinder just to grind out a groove. You basically need something for the weld to go into because I'm going to be smoothing it off again. So obviously if you don't go in when you smooth off, you'll just remove the weld. There will be some fusion below that probably, but it's better to put some material in between. Groove. Earthing this is, I realise, going to be a bit of a problem because I haven't got really anywhere I can clamp onto, so I'm going to try putting this rod through and hope that that gives me a good enough connection. This is getting ground flat, so it doesn't matter, but it's pretty messy. I really can't see what I'm doing. Didn't put the knee on the side, so I went sideways. Now, because I'm going over a rounded surface and I'm not being too smooth, I'm getting these sort of faceted looks to the metal. It looks great. I'm leaving that because it's almost like the scales. You see, it's now joined together, and can you see these sort of facets? I might try and make some. Oh, this is still pretty hot. Now I'm going to have to clean up the rest of it, and then the next thing is to bore these holes out. One to 37mm, one to 29. And it'll sit on. I'm tempted to use a flat disc to take this off because then it would leave some interesting marks. Okay, the camera died at some point, I don't know when. I've got most of the paint off, well, yeah, nearly all of it. There's still a bit in the edges, but I have to get to. So the next thing is I need to get this hole, which is generally centralised, enlarged to that. Now this is mild steel, thankfully, so unlike the hardened steel things I've done, this is going to be so much easier. I'm just going to put some self-adhesive tape on, put that on there, then mark it, and just grind to get that the right size, slot it on, and then size the other side, because we need to go, the bottom half's got to go over this size and the top half's got to go over that, but I don't want there to be a massive gap, so I need to fit them. So I've just gone on the outside with a pen. I'll peel this off. Don't leave that behind. Yeah, looks about right. That's what we've got to grind out. No, that's going to take forever. I'm going to drill some holes. Okay, so hole one side, hole the other. Fits on. I'm going to have to flatten off this back edge a bit, try and get it to sit a bit squarer. Okay, so the body part is done, the holes fit. It's now sitting much flatter. So now I've just got to work out how to do the head. Okay, well I'm going to call an end to the episode here because I've got quite a lot done. This has been quite long. The next thing, as I say, is fitting this body better. I mean, it's going to have to be welded on the end, around here. I hope this is not stainless. And then we've got to build the head of some sort, and the legs got to be attached. We've got to make the wings. There's so much more to do. This is quite an undertaking. But oh well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to support the channel if you can in any way that you can, and I'll catch you next time.